Okay guys, what's up? Oops. What's up guys? I'm sorry, I'm silent this video because my parents are sleeping, my sister, my brother are sleeping. It's 2:15 AM at this point, so I have to be somewhat quiet and somewhat silent for them not to wake up. Also, for my apologies for this late upload. It's Monday at this point, and I had my battle against Sam, the coach of the Dunsparcenal, Sunday at somewhere around 9 PM my time, and I've just been crazy busy lately, and I'm sorry for Sam too. I'm sorry I couldn't face you anytime sooner. It really, I think it really worked against you because you had your team finished very early on in the week 2 preparations. Stupid animals, stupid flies, and yeah, that usually, from my experience, that makes me like feel less prepared for when the match actually happens. So that's usually why I have to build a team so late anyway. But yeah, in general, my apologies for that, man. And I hope you forgive me from doing this. But yeah, the team from Sam he brought this week, as you can see on the side right here. Can you see on the side right here? I'll scroll up a little bit. He brought Talonflame, Keldeo, Mega Blastoise, at least he didn't bring it, but his team is Talonflame, Keldeo, Mega Blastoise, Breloom, Porygon 2, Whimsicott, Drapion, Noivern, Magneton, Spiritomb and Jinx. And like I told you last week, the Dunsparcenals are replacing the Hamilton Heracrosses with fancy plays, because he dropped out due to personal reasons, and this made the Dunsparcenals they had the ability to redraft a whole different team from anything that was left on the big board, on the everything that was able to be drafted in the first place. And I have to be honest, not much was left, but he scrambled together a very good team. He also could have used anything from the Hamilton Heracross, of course, but he decided not to. And the team he brought was, like I said, these 12 months or 11 months, I think. And it's looks pretty solid to me, so he did pretty well with drafting those. He does have a few flaws, and like one of them is, for example, he doesn't have any stealth rocks, and yeah, that's kind of the biggest flaw in his team, and he noticed it himself very quickly after he drafted it, because I know for one that he wanted Rhyperior instead of Drapion, but at least Rhyperior wasn't like I don't know what the word is for that. Let me quick check. It wasn't. Ah, damn it, I meant in Dutch. Never mind. It was like crossed off. I guess that's the word I'm trying to look for. It wasn't crossed off in the big board like the thing on this spreadsheet we have, and thus he expected to draft Rhyperior, but that thing is in fact on. I think it's on User's team, the Bengal Wash. So yeah, he had to quickly get a replacement, and he chose Drapion, and that's why he doesn't have stealth rocks. But other than that, his team is pretty solid. A few flaws I did find. Give me 1 second. Okay, the few weaknesses of flaws on his team I did find were, of course, like I said, he doesn't have the stealth rocks. Also, he doesn't have an electric immunity, which is crucial for my team because I have a Volt Switch and Lantern on my team, which does pretty well usually, at least from the last game. So. He also has one flying resist in Magneton, and Magneton has a quad weakness to ground for one, and also he has 3 more weaknesses to flying, so it's not the most flying counter thing. So and he also has 4 fairy weaknesses and 2 fairy resist, so that's also something I could exploit. Like I said, no electric immunity. He has also 5 quad weaknesses: Talonflame, Breloom, Whimsicott, Noivern, and Magneton. No stealth rocks. His Blastoise is his Rapid Spinner. He doesn't have any defocus either, I don't think, except for like Talonflame, which is not the most common defocus at all. Priority in Talonflame, in Breloom, in Spiritomb, and in Prankster. And 2 things that outsped my fastest base speed guy, Mon. My fastest ones, I think, like Mega Absol, so he had 2 monsters that were faster than Mega Absol, which were Talonflame and Noivern. So I expected him to bring at least one of them as and to be honest, Noivern, because Talonflame is checked by Archeops, it's checked by Lantern, so yeah. And last but not least, he doesn't have a cleric or anything that can specifically fulfill the role of a cleric, so that's also a thing I noticed, and I think I could have exploited if I wanted to. So yeah, let's quickly go to the things I expected him to bring. As you can see, this is a team I think you would have noticed at this point, but what I expected him to bring was Mega Blastoise, because Mega Blastoise is of course rather bulky and it can just hit off pretty good damage with its coverage against my whole team, and especially with like switched in on double switches, or if anything of the switch up, or just the right prediction, it could have cost a lot of damage to my team with Mega Blastoise. So yeah, Mega Blastoise was the first thing I expected him to bring. Next up was Noivern, because like I said, Noivern is just the fastest man on the field if he does bring it. Plus, Noivern does really good damage to my team. I do not really have any Draco Meteor switch-ins if you look at my team. Also, the Hurricane switch-ins are pretty much non-existent, except for like Lantern and like a bulky Cura, Mew, Manaphy. Maybe Nidoqueen at best, but so yeah, I do have to specifically like have a lot of investment in a certain one before to take it on, I guess, to say it like that. So yeah, I expected to bring Noivern. Also, my only resist to Dragon are weak to Fire as well, because it's Cobalion and it's Mawile. I didn't look, but Mawile, and both of them are pretty much weak to Fire. Also, he could have brought Magneton together with Noivern and getting rid of my Mawile / Cobalion if I would have brought either both, because by trapping them, and yeah, that way. The third one I expected to bring was Porygon 2, because Porygon 2 was pretty bulky, and I think that would have been his best answer to my Kyurem Black. Next up, I figured he was gonna bring Drapion. Like a Ton Drapion or Swordsdance Drapion, both could have cost a good amount of damage to my team. Also, this is his only way of hazards, so if he did want to bring it, he could also opt to go for the hazards instead of being an offensive one. Next up, I figured he would bring Keldeo, not because Keldeo was necessarily good against my team, but Keldeo is usually one of those mons that you can decently whittle down its checks or its counters with the rest of the team, and have Keldeo in the back for a late games cleanup. And last but not least, I expected him to bring I guess Spiritomb, because I think Spiritomb could have caused me some good problems if Spiritomb was gonna be like a Trixie set, but something I didn't expect, for example. Yeah, like I said, other than that, he could have gone for Magneton, but yeah, all others I didn't expect to bring. Talonflame doesn't look the best against my team, but like I said, Archeops and Lantern. Breloom just gets completely countered by Tangrowth. Also, stuff like Nidoqueen takes down really well, and Mew even. Whimsicott, he could have brought Whimsicott definitely. Whimsicott can do decently well against my team, so yeah, if he wants to bring it, then I can see why, but I don't think the team the playstyle he needs versus me includes a Whimsicott, but I mean, a well played Whimsicott is of course always good against anything. And Jinx, I didn't expect him to win Jinx. He could have brought Jinx. Jinx could have been a problem to my team, but no, I didn't expect to bring it. And yeah, let's I guess go to the team I brought versus him, which is right here. Be right back 1 second. So the first one I wanted to bring against his team was Chupahada, the Cobalion, because Cobalion is pretty decent against his team, to be honest, because yeah, he doesn't really have any counters to it, basically. I mean, he does have the Talonflame, which precises both steps, of course. He also has, let's see, Keldeo with Speed Ice. Mega Blastoise takes a huge hit, hopefully at least. Breloom, I do not fear that much, because a Mach Patron Breloom is not gonna kill me anyway. Porygon 2, this is my only fighting move, at least. My apologies. It's my only fighting type of attack. At least my fighting type, I guess, but that's why it's good against Porygon. Against the Magneton, if it's not Choice Scarf, it's also pretty good. If it is Choice Scarf, then it's more than likely going to be able to live any hit. Against Splatoon with the Taunt, it's going to be nice, and against the Jinx, I outspeed it, so I can definitely deal with it. I do have the Occa Berry, because the Occa Berry is nice with Talonflame. If my counter Talonflame goes down, it's nice against the Noivern as well, if my Noivern counter goes down, so that's why I have the Occa Berry. Also, if anything, I can, like if I have set up at that point, I can lift the hits from either of those two with the Occa Berry and proceed to sweep his team afterwards. So depending on the situation, I can use Chupa Hada in my favor in any way. Next up is Bo Burnham the Lantern. It's pretty defensive, it's for the Talonflame. I did want to have some defensive investment and not make like choice specs, because I didn't want to have him whittled down really easily by a choice band U-turn or anything to get me switching into Lantern if he was going to bring it. But yeah, this is barely the and some especially defensive investment, because I didn't need any more. I didn't need any special attack investment either, because yeah, it does have the Volt Switch, Ice Beam, Scald and Heal Bell. I'm mainly gonna go for the Volt Switch or Heal Bell. I have the Heal Bell because he could be annoying with like Scald Burns or anything, so that's why the Heal Bell is on there. Next up is George Bush the Tangrowth. It's a Soulfast Tangrowth because it's my Keldeo counter, and with this spread I am not to hit KB to Icy Winds. Maybe Hidden Power Flying, Hidden Power Ice, whatever he wants to bring here, that might to hit kill me, but I should be fine regardless though. Yeah, max attack, knockoff, poison jab, power up, and EQ. The knockoff is for the Porygon 2 mainly. Poison jab is for the Whimsicott or the Breloom. Power up is for Keldeo or anything else that just want to hit hard. EQ is specifically for the Magneton. I could have run something like Rock Slide for the Noivern or for the Talonflame, but I felt that the rest of the ones countered slash checked them pretty well, pretty decently. So next up is Choice Scarfed Archeops. This is mainly my backup, because if he does bring stuff like Choice Scarfed Magneton, I cannot speed it with Archeops. Also against the Porygon 2, I can switch through it and cripple it, hopefully at least. Yeah, mainly that's it. I can also just U-turn for chip damage and then proceed to Head Smash something on later on. I have the Head Smash because Head Smash hits like a truck. I have Adamant Head Smash, and it just to hit kills most of his mods on his team. Oh, my apologies. Only like a fast. Only like a really physically bulky Porygon 2 is able to lift the hit. I didn't expect to bring Scarf Keldeo, so that's why I'm Adamant instead of Jelly. Next up is Never Go Back the Cure in Black. It's Chopa Berry because I didn't really want to give him any item at all, so I figured that Chopa Berry would be the best to hopefully lure the Blastoise at best and just Fusion Ball to that if he tends to be speed infested. I have the Toxic for the Porygon 2 because I expect the Porygon 2 to be the switch into this guy. Earth Power because it hits up the Drapion, the Magneton, stuff like that. And Roost because it's bulky, so it can lift hits and roost up the damage. Mussolini, last but not least, it's my Stealth Rocker. I had Taunt at this before anything, before Stealth Rock. And Taunt would have been really useful, but I figured Stealth Rock would have been useful as well, so I went for Stealth Rocks over Taunt. And hopefully, as you see in the match real quick, hopefully it's not going to matter too much, at least not in my against me. Also Roost Will-O-Wisp because that's always nice, Will-O-Wisp to hit up Drapion before or even after it just knocks off McCulver Berry, for example. If it doesn't have Taunt, at least it is, but yeah. And the knockoff because knockoff is useful. So yeah, that's it for now. I'm quickly gonna get my Charger. Okay, his team. He has in fact some stuff I did not expect. Like I said, he does have the Whimsicott and the Breloom, which I definitely did not expect him to bring. He also had a combination of Spiritomb and Drapion, which I again didn't expect him to bring. Oh. So those mons yeah, were some oddballs on the team, which I did definitely prepare for, definitely, but I didn't expect him to bring them. As you can see, my squad does not mind his squad too much. He didn't bring Neuburn, which was a huge relief for me, and he didn't bring Porygon 2, which was okay. I think Porygon 2 I managed to deal with really well with my team. And also no Blastoise, which I was also decently afraid of. It doesn't necessarily do well against my team, but a well-played Blastoise is definitely something that could mess up my team if he like double switched around very nicely with that mod and predicted well accordingly. But Sam Rattlehead, coach of the Dunsparcenals, decided not to bring any of those. And he leads up with his balloon Derpion, and as you can see he goes for a knockoff. I have the Cobra Berry and the Burn, which I surprisingly enough I outsped him. So this means that this guy is most definitely defensive, and in a specific way. Don't know which way yet. So yeah, the knockoff does absolutely nothing, even with a crit, and I am free to get up my Stealth Rocks the next turn because he hasn't taunted me or doesn't have the capabilities of taunting me before I get up my Stealth Rocks. And I predict him to switch out because I know he cannot touch me, even if the pursuit is 10%. So I go for the burn on next turn, predicting a switch out, and he goes into Commuter the Spiritomb, and he fires off Dark Pulse. Not that especially defensive with bow burn him, but I can have a free fault switch and pivot around into my Curon Black. That hopefully is gonna do a decent chunk with the Fusion Bolt, and it is a solid 3-hit KO. He does have leftovers though, so it is a bit. Oh, he doesn't actually have leftovers. Never mind. I thought he had leftovers for one, but continues to go for Fusion Bolt because my other move is Earth Power. So he goes for Substitute with his Whimsicott, meaning that he's that annoying Whimsicott set lead seed Substitute, more than likely, and Taunt, and more than likely Moonblast. So yeah, I don't mind that he taunts my Tangrowth because my Tangrowth is Assault Vest, so I am completely fine by him doing that, as I just go for the Poison Deal, breaking the Substitute, and continues to go for the actually predict to switch out into anything on his team and go for the Power Whip. And that anything I mean with Spiritomb mainly, because Spiritomb is a safe play. Luckily Spiritomb is dead, because Spiritomb could have been a problem against my team, because I did drop Taunt on the Mew like I said, so he did have a slight chance of beating me with Spiritomb, although I do have Taunt on the Cobalion, which I could have prevented him from doing too much damage. Plus he had the Dark Pulse, which I am surprised about. I expect him to run Shadow Ball if anything, because the Dark Pulse would have given me a +1 boost anytime he hit me with the Dark Pulse on the Cobalion. So yeah, let's see. I should set Tangrowth into Cobalion, because Cobalion can take up any hit from this guy. For example, if he wants to go for a knockoff, then feel free to, because I get a +1 boost. If he wants to go for the EQ, his burns is not going to do anything. If he wants to go for the post up, it's definitely not going to do anything. And I don't need my Fire Berry, because the only thing he has is Magneton, and Magneton is not necessarily going to run Hidden Power Fire, because he can run Hidden Power Ground or Hidden Power Fighting or anything of the sorts as well. And even then I am not that reliant on Cobalion at that point, so I've made the safe play going to Cobalion, as he was predicting the switch. As I go into Mussolini and just roost up, as he again predicts me to switch out, but I have no reason to do so whatsoever, as I go for the knockoff on the next turn, predicting him to switch out again, as he predicted me to go for the Will-O-Wisp and do a lot of damage with his Sickle Beam, but it turns out that that special defensive unit does actually eat it up as easily as possible. As at this point I feel really comfortable. I do however need to watch out for this Keldeo, because my Mew is, as you can see, Taunt. It wasn't Taunt actually, never mind. It had Stealth Rocks, Will-O-Wisp, Roost and Knockoff, so at this point Keldeo can completely set up on me. But in the back I have a counter to Keldeo, which is the Tangrowth. And as you can see, he is gonna go for his Secret Sword next turn. He doesn't have Icy Wind, as you can see, and Secret Sword is not even a 3-hit KO, so I'm easily gonna be able to break the Substitute with my Earthquakes, as I predict him to go for a switch into either of his grass types and go for the power whip. So I continue to go for the power up. Even if I miss, it's not that big of a deal because I don't lose to Keldeo anyway. So as he goes into the Dr. Gerard, the Drapion, I know if he does go for the poison, it's not going to do anything to me, but I have a very free switch into Cobalion, which I have to capitalize on that. And he does go for the knockoff, so I get my 1+5 plus 1.5 boost and take him down to close combat accordingly because it's my most accurate move. As he goes into the Breloom, and unless he was Scarf Breloom, which he could have been, I didn't really fear him. And as you can see, he wasn't Scarf Breloom, and if he was Scarf Breloom, that wouldn't have been that much of a deal because I did have a lot of mons left that could deal with the rest of his team, so I felt pretty safe to stay in and got like fall up on his bluff. He bluffed the Choice Scarf, I didn't fall for it, and I took him down with the next close combat from Cobalion. As he goes into Fulgencio, or however that's pronounced, as he goes for the lead seat, probably expecting me to knock him out, and I could have more than likely done that because he is defensive, but I do in fact do it with George on the next turn. So, and I go for the power ups continuously. I do not want to miss, so my safe play is just to go for the Earthquake next turn. The Earthquake is gonna take him down, and he cannot take me down with any of his 2 moves, unless he reveals the Icy Wind or the Hidden Power Ice right now. But even if he does that, I still have a lot of checks left that can deal with him. So I 6-0'd Sam, the Dunsparcenals this season. Last season was 5, or this season is the 6-0. So I'm sorry again that you had to wait so long, and I'm really stoked that I won this like this much. As he's a pretty good battler, so I felt like my team matchup was decently, at least like a lot of my favor, because I did have check/counters to the most of his offensive mons. So although it did have some mons that could have done really well against me, which he didn't bring. So don't know if that's a bad call on his end, but I'm just glad that he didn't, because it made the battle a lot easier in my favor. I haven't updated the spreadsheet on my own page, which I will do in a bit. Oh, that's not bad. But I will quickly show you the league table at this point, because I am the last one to upload, I think, because my match happened Sunday. So everyone else's matches should have been up at this point. So I think you've all watched their matches, and if you haven't, then please go check out their match before you check this thing out. I am willing to show you, but it's not working. Yeah, okay, he's back. The fixtures plus table, let's go. Click on the thing. Why is it so slow when it's recording? I don't know. It's for some reason it's slow. And yeah, well, let's just wait until it pops up, because for some reason it takes 10 minutes. There we go. I'm gonna be right back. Well guys, as you can see, currently the #1 guy in the Division A with a +10 differential from the first 2 matches, a 4-0 victory and a 6-0 victory in my favor, meaning that I'm the #1. Actually, if both divisions were to be combined, I would still be the #1. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident in this season. So I've gotten to use most of my mons on my squad. I will quickly show you the kill death ratios. You can see this from the other teams too. Oh yeah, it takes a while. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. As you can see, currently the MVPs are Tangrowth and Cobalion. I've used most of my mons. I have not used Miss Mages yet and Mabel and Corfish yet, but most of my mons have been used as of this point, and I am really impressed with how Mew performed this match. I wasn't really. I mean, Mew's first style is all fuck, and everyone knows how good Mew is, but I wasn't that convinced in Mew before this season, I've got to be honest. And I'm really impressed with how Mew performed, and yeah, I think I'm gonna get to use Mew more often in my matches, and yeah, I'm happy. Next week is I just said it. I think it just the nuclear. Yeah, the Phoenix Soul Rocks. Yep, those are the guys. Those guys with the red gem. Phoenix Rocks. Yep. So I'm looking forward to that game. And for now, thanks for watching. Please check out everyone else's games. Yes, see you next week.